Good morning, boys and girls. It's Miss Sands. I have missed you so much. It seems like it's been so long since we last talked to one another. I hope you had a great spring break. I hope that you had lots of fun and that you got a lot of time to play and that you got to sleep in some and maybe even stay up late. I don't know. But I hope that you had a great vacation, and I'm so glad to be back together with you today and this week. I told you I'm giving you kind of a tour of my house. Well, today you are joining me at my dining room table. So I'm sitting here, and right behind me is my laundry room where I spend a lot of my time. I don't know about your moms, but I spend a lot of my time in the laundry room. But I just wanted to let you know where we are today in my house, and I want to go over just a little bit with you about what we're going to be doing this week. Let's see. Let me look at my list of stuff. All right, today for reading. In reading, we are going to be on Epic today, so you're going to need to go on to the Epic website, and our story is going to be called Our Moon. Now, it's a story that you can either listen to or read by yourself. What I would suggest doing is maybe listening to the narrator read the story and you read along with them, like we would do if we were in class together. So that story is called Our Moon. And after you have listened to that on Epic, I would like for you to look in your science book at page 119 and 120. I don't have mine right here with me. It looks something like this. Yours is not going to have the answers, but 119 and 120, you're going to complete those. Just a couple questions about your reading, and we're going to talk some more about the planets tomorrow. And guided reading this week, we are going back to Raz Kids. So I think I've got all of that figured out. And so we're going to be there. And you have been assigned a book that you should be able to read well on your own. So I took your assessments that you did for me 2 weeks ago, and I have plugged in that information, and I have chosen a book for you. You are either going to be reading one of 3 books. You are only going to be assigned one of these. So you're either going to be reading Welcome Back Butterflies, White House Pets, or Number 12. Okay, so one of those 3 books will be assigned to you on Raz Kids. Before break, I sent an email about how to log into that. It's on DA6EDD2D.com, I'm pretty sure, but if you'll go back and look at your login information, and then I sent them also a video on how to use that website. So go back in your prior emails to find that. But you're going to read today. There are some quizzes and questions that go with those stories, but we are not going to do that today. Today, all we're going to do is just read. Okay. Let's see, our Bible verse. For the next 3 weeks, we are going to be memorizing the books of the Old Testament in order. So there will not be anything that you need to say to me this week, but for the next 3 weeks, we're going to practice those. I have put a link on the plans of a song that you might want to learn. If you want to sing them to me whenever it's time to recite them, that is fine, or you can say them. So we're going to start doing the Old Testament books in order. I have attached those also on the bottom of the plan. So if you'll scroll down to the bottom, you can see the books of the Bible in order. And after we do the Old Testament, we will do the New Testament. Let's see, math. We're going to be reviewing the unit today. So we are at the end of this chapter, and so we're going to complete pages 339 and 340 today. It's on just matching up coins with a name and then counting them to see if you have enough to purchase something. So that's going to be your math assignment today. I have also put a link to some math fact practice. I took the practice. You have 2 minutes to solve some math problems. I got 74 points, so I want to see if anybody can beat me. I got 74 points on FactMaster. So what you'll do is you'll click on the link, and then you will go and it'll just show you a math fact, and you have to type in the answer. And like I said, I got 74 points. I missed one. I don't know which one I missed, but I missed one fact. So see if you can beat me. Language page today, we're going to do page 105 and 106. 105 looks like this. And what you are doing is adding suffixes to root words. So we have the word open plus the suffix ed. So we would write the word opened. Tim opened the front door. So you're going to add the ending, the suffix, onto the base word and then fill in the blank. And on the back side, you're going to do compound words. Remember, compound words are when we put 2 words together, like rain and bow make rainbow, or baseball makes baseball. So you're going to circle or bubble in the word that's a compound word. And at the bottom, there's the words red, brown, and green. You're going to write a sentence using each of those color words. Let's see. Spelling this week, our words are words that either have an S or an ing on the end. So you're going to complete pages 159 and 160 in your spelling book. And then today for your writing assignment, you are just going to write 5 sentences using spelling words. So the first sentence I want you to write using the word hops. The second sentence, I want you to use the word stops. The third sentence, I want you to use hopes. Fourth sentence, makes, and fifth sentence, smiles. Make sure you use your blue folder. Make sure you start with a capital letter. Make sure you end with punctuation. Make sure that your sentence makes sense. Make sure that I can understand what you're saying. But that is your writing today. It's to write 5 good sentences for me. For Bible, I'm going to actually do our lesson on here. And then I will tell you the page that you're assigned to do for this week. So this week we're talking about Acts. So we have made it through the resurrection. Jesus has been buried and he has raised from the dead. And so now the church is beginning and it's starting. And so we're going to talk about our story is going to come from the book of Acts. And we're going to talk about Stephen later this week. But Acts are the events that took place at the church when it was beginning. And Acts, I think, is one of my favorite, if not my favorite book of the Bible, just to see how the church grew and to see how the Lord was adding to their numbers and how they joined together. And just the beginning of the church is so fascinating to me. I love the book of Acts. But the early church began with over 3,000 Christians from many parts of the world. So people from all over were part of this church, the first church. And the believers wanted to learn about the Lord from the disciples. Many of them stayed near Jerusalem. And as the church grew, there was more and more work to be done. So the disciples needed some helpers to share in their work. Now, the people that made up the early church, they were from all over different places. And so if you're from different parts of the world, what might be different about you? Yeah, you might speak a different language. So all of these people from all over part of the first church all spoke different languages. Some of the people spoke Aramaic, which is the language that Jesus spoke, and were able to speak directly with the disciples. But other believers spoke Greek, and there were even more languages spoken than those two. The Christians agreed that they should share their blessing, so they willingly gave their money to provide for the widows. This was a good idea, but it did not work well as the church grew. Not all widows got an equal share of the money that was set aside. This was probably because the widows who spoke Greek were unable to tell others what they needed. So it would be like if we were together and I can understand if you come to me and you tell me what you need, I can understand that and I can try to help you. Like if you come over to me at my desk and you say, I need a pencil or I need a glue stick, I can tell you where to go get one of those or how to get one or to go sharpen it or here's a glue stick, I can help you. But if somebody would come over to me, another boy or girl speaking French and ask me for a pencil, I would have no idea what they were saying. So it would be hard for me to help them because I wouldn't know what they needed. And that was kind of like it was for these disciples and these widows. So just imagine how hard it was for the disciples to try to teach the people and still make sure that the needy widows were being cared for. The disciples directed believers to choose 7 godly men who would make sure the widows were getting the money that they needed. And one of those men that was chosen was Stephen. And we're going to learn more about Stephen later this week. And so churches today have leaders as well. Sometimes in churches you have something called deacons or elders. We have those in our church. And the deacons and elders are men who were chosen to do jobs around the church. And they are chosen based on having a good reputation. So they must live in a way that other people think are honorable. And both their actions and their words have to make it clear that they love the Lord and that they want to serve him. And they must be led by the Holy Spirit and filled with wisdom. And they make choices that pleases God. And so the same qualifications that churches use now are ones that people used a long time ago. And so because the disciples could not take care of everybody, they thought, we need to teach, but we can't teach and take care of the widows and take care of this. So we're going to find other people that can help us. And that's exactly what the disciples did in our lesson today. They went and they found men who were qualified and who were honorable and who loved Jesus. And they gave them the task of helping to take care of people. And so tomorrow we're going to learn a little bit about Stephen. Stephen was a great man of faith, and Stephen had a hard life. His life ended very difficultly, but Stephen knew Jesus, and he knew Jesus was his greatest treasure, and he knew that you and I needed to know about Jesus, so he continued to do a hard thing, and we're going to talk about that more tomorrow. right, boys and girls, I am so happy to be back together with you. I hope that you had a great week. I hope that you're ready to start today. I hope you're ready to work hard and to learn, and I'm so excited to be here. And yeah, so if you need anything, you can email me or you can text me or however you need to get in touch, but know that I'm here for you. I will be around today from 10 to 12 especially, so if you need anything during those hours, you let me know. And if there's anything that I forgot to tell you, hopefully you can find it on the directions for today's learning. All right, boys and girls, I love you, and I'll see you tomorrow. All right, peace out.